Hey guys, I'm headed out to somewhere on the other side of Lake of the Pines. We had a customer call that he has a drainage pipe, a suction pipe out of his 30-acre lake that he believes is stopped up. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to send Roby down to see what's in front of it first, because if you think about it, if you've got a lake that's been filling up and it has not been draining out, there's so much pressure on that once that thing clears, there's going to be a very hard suction. It's a 10-inch pipe, 10-inch drain. I believe it's what I was told. So, anyhow, he believes it may be beavers on it down there. So, we're going to send the drone down, take a good look at it. First of all, you never want to. Beavers are very territorial. They don't really mess with you unless you get around their den, kind of deal. And if you're underwater and you're coming up in an area where it enters their den, that's going to make for a bad day. So, anyhow, we're gonna put her down, see if we can hope it's not full of seaweed. So before I dive it, I'm not 100% sure how deep it is. A 30-acre lake, it's probably going to be fairly deep. Especially, I know a lot of these older lakes that have been built like in the past, they make them pretty deep. But I don't know, we'll see. So that's the job for today. We're going to see the customers rented a self-contained pressure washing. I would assume it's probably like on a trailer, so I don't know. I hadn't seen it. With a long line on it that he can put near the bank, so if it's something that I'm just able to blast water up into to clear any kind of mud obstruction, then that's what we'll try to do. So I don't know. We'll see. Every dive is different. You never know what you're getting into, and man, I can tell you, this drainage tube don't have a pump on it, so it's on its own free will, right? So when you're working the ones that have a pump on it, at least the customer can turn a pump off, and there's a lot slighter of a chance that you'll be sucked to it. So that's always a very, very big concern of mine when I do these things. So I'll know what the situation is when I get boots on the ground out here. I've been thinking the last few days, like, okay, so am I going to hook my winch cable to me? And if the customer feels like a hard tug on the rope, start winching me in. If I'm not able to pull myself away from it, I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes these things sometimes this stuff gets sketchy. It can be very sketchy under a lake that you can't see anything in, and then all of a sudden you've got a tube that, boom, starts sucking everything in. So definitely a scary situation. But yeah, we'll see how it is, and I will make an update. Obviously, we're going to make a video on this. I've got quite a few videos that I just haven't had time to edit of recovery jobs and stuff. But yeah, we'll get to it. All right, take care. Like it, thumbs up, subscribe, whatever. Come dive with me.
If you tell me if you come up, I want that way you might run out of line. But I pulled out a little bit more.
Okay. Here we're just basically developing a plan of what we're going to do, how this is going to work. Walking down into the murky water, get through all the cattail weeds. Dropping underwater for the first time. Very murky. Trying to feel around for the pipe to find where it enters into the mud at. And at this point, we decided to go ahead and use the pressure washer wand. So this is one of the customers handed me the pressure washer. This is a trailer mounted pressure washer, so it's a commercial. It's one of those ones that blows heat, or it heats the water up, steam, chemical, all that stuff. So testing it out, and once you put this thing under the water and you hit the go button on it, it has such a forceful push on it that it's like a jet engine underwater. So it shoves you back, so you've got to have a pretty good stance. The noise you can hear here is each time I hit the go on the pressure washer, basically going left to right, left to right, left to right over this pipe, cleaning basically with a trench out on each side that my knees can kind of go through, and I'm squeezing the pipe. So right about here is kind of where all hell breaks loose. We've had about 30-45 minutes underwater up until this point, so you can see me. I'm kind of bear hugging the pipe that you really can't see, but everything's going crazy. The lake has started pouring into this 12-inch pipe at this point. I've tried to reach around and grab my winch line to start tugging it, and it's right around here is where I decided to go ahead and start inflating my dive vest, hoping it's going to shoot me up to the surface, because the suction at this point is so strong that it's really holding me down. So I was kind of bear hugging that 12-inch line with my legs around it, because it kept pulling me closer and closer to the end of it. So coming to the surface, see me shoot up. That's because all the air that's in my vest. Start moving over towards the shore, handing the pressure washer wand back to the customer.
Did you see the water on the outside?
I was asking him if he could see the water coming from the back end of the dam.
It struck me.
This was a very sketchy job. Not all jobs are the same. Everything's different. And at the end of the day, you learn how to do something different for the next dive. Once that water started pulling me down, it was go time for sure in my head. My hands were cramping so bad from holding on to that. That's why I was shaking them off.
With the water, all that water sucking through there, right? So it was completely covered up. Just sand. That's all it was, just buried up and sealed. You can't see nothing. I can't see my hand right.
So there was no beavers that were covering the end of the pipe. It was just buried in about
like
4 foot of
So you
silt.
got to straddle that pipe. So what I did was,
So now I'm walking to the other side of the dam. I've gotten out of the water and dressed.
yeah. You come down here and look at this. Look, I don't cuss, but that's pretty goddamn frightening.
The back of this dam,
Look at the back end of this pipe.
the back of the dam was completely dry.
There was
No water
nothing
coming out of this pipe whatsoever.
coming out of the back. That's what we got now. That lake is draining. Goodness. That was the job. When I get back in the vehicle, I'll explain a little bit more. That was something.
Hey guys, so I'm back from the lake job. It's about an hour from here, way on the other side of Lake of the Pines. I don't remember where it was. But yeah. So it was a first time for me doing something like that. I almost have to draw this out, and I'm gonna see if I can get like AI to maybe make a video of this. So, all right, stay with me here. I'll kind of try to explain this to you. About a 30-acre lake, right? You got this real big dam on it. So there's a, I believe it ended up being a 12-inch pipe, right? 12-inch wide diameter PVC pipe. So this thing runs all the way through the dam, water side, dry side, the back side of the dam. So it kind of goes and it kind of curves and comes down. So what was happening was the lake wasn't draining. It would go over the emergency spillway, but it wasn't staying the constant level it was supposed to without it just going over the spillway. So what the customer kind of come to the conclusion that at the end of that 12-inch pipe, which is about 20, 30 foot out into the water from the bank, had to have been full of gophers. I mean, not gophers, but beavers. Probably like logs or whatever had pushed up against this pipe, right? So anyhow, got there. We put Roby into it. You couldn't see the end of the claw. The water was just so black at like a foot deep. It was just so much muck. The water was just so mucky. You know, storms in the last couple of days, it just made it so bad that you just couldn't you couldn't see anything with the rover. So pulled it back out because first of all I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any like hazards down there, you know, because if you come across beavers in the water, they're pretty aggressive. Like if you get next to their den, they get pretty aggressive. So it's not something you want to really come across. So yeah, suited up, got in the water. Now here's the pipe. You know, it's kind of curved like this. Water side of the shoreline, the dam right here. So come down, kind of get down to right here, but maybe about 5 or so feet off the bank, and realize that pipe was just dropping down into the mud, right? So I was trying to go into water and just kind of move the mud out of the way with my hands to try to follow it, pull my dive knife out, you know, trying to stab the dirt, see where I could follow it. But just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So surfaced to ask the customer, hey, do you have a shovel? Do you have a shovel that, you know, I could just go along and scoop the dirt off? So he had brought a commercial pressure washer, one of the big ones that's on the trailer. It like heats water up and all that other kind of crap. So he's like, well, hey, let's just use that and you can maybe just blast the mud off of it. So did that. Sorry, this is going to kind of end up being a little longer, but the whole idea was if I unblocked this 12-inch this drain pipe, that everything was going to break loose. It was going to create such of a suction that it was going to be hard to get away from that pipe, right? So that was a big concern, big fear. So what I did is I pulled the winch line out on my FJ. We hooked it to the back of my vest, and if I gave a couple pretty hard tugs, that means the customer is going to hit the winch me back up, you know, to get me out of that pipe. So this is what's going through our heads. Pulled the winch line out. Turns out my damn winch didn't even work. That was freaking aggravating. Had some work done to the front of my FJ. Apparently nothing was put back right. But anyhow, we went ahead and used the winch line, and the idea was they were they were just gonna try to pull me if I got sucked onto this pipe and I just couldn't get off. So yeah, I'm down there with the pressure washer. If this is the pipe, right? So I'm straddling this 12-inch pipe, you know, like on my knees, and I'm taking the pressure washer and I'm blowing all the mud off of it, all the way side to side, side to side, side to side, all the way down. Keep in mind, and I'll have video of this, obviously. So you couldn't see, there's no hands right here. You couldn't see anything. I couldn't see my dive watch. I couldn't tell how much air I had left in my tank. You really couldn't tell how long I'd been down, because there wasn't anything you could see. You couldn't see anything in your face right here. It's just nothing but just mud, right? So the only way I could feel to the end of that pipe was when I took the wand, and I would like just kind of reach it out, and then once it finally did one of those, then I knew I was towards the end of the pipe. Well, then I would take my hand and kind of do this right here, you know, just reach out in the darkness. And then, you know, once my fingers kind of dipped like that, then I knew I was at the end of this big, and it had a big bell opening on the end of this 12-inch. So I'm laying on this pipe, right, and I'm reaching over it, and I couldn't really feel much of a drag of the water. I knew it was at the end of it, but there wasn't much water. There wasn't really anything coming through it. So I knew at that point that pipe was just packed full of mud. So the pressure washer wand was about 3 foot long, so I've got it. It's got the handle on the side, but I'm sitting on this pipe, and you know, obviously hitting that much pressure with the wand, it's like a jet motor kind of deal. Like, it's just shoving you back. Like I'm shooting, and it's just, you know, shoving you through the water, and there's not much you can really hold on to in the water. So I'm trying to keep my legs wrapped around like I'm riding a bull on this 12-inch pipe. So I finally get the pipe, and I kind of tilt, or the wand of the pressure washer, I kind of tilt it over, and I'm trying to blast a big area of mud away from the intake of this pipe. There wasn't no grills on it. It's just a straight opening on the pipe. So I'm trying to blast this big area. I was trying to feel for logs in case like beavers had shoved something up. It was just mud. Then I finally got, you know, kind of feeling with it, I could feel like a little current going through the pipe, you know, because my hands, look, this is the pipe, or yeah, the pipe, you know, kind of, you know, my fingers kind of went to the end of the pipe, and you could kind of feel a current going through it. So I knew at that point something was starting to move through it. I'm like, all right, we're on the right track. So I take that wand, I kind of flip it over, and I start blasting the inside of that pipe with the pressure washer. So basically what that does is it starts cleaning all that mud, the pressure of the lake. I'm blasting through all that mud that's been packed in there. Now I got a different thing on my hands. Now the water starts sucking through. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm kind of holding on. You can feel water from this lake just coming from everywhere down into this thing. I'm laying on the pipe. I'm kind of straddling the pipe, and I got the wand ends up sucking up into the pipe, and I couldn't pull. You know, I'm sitting there trying to pull the wand, that pressure washer wand, like out of that pipe, and I'm like, man, I'm fixing to have to just turn around, and I'm fixing to just let it go, turn around, start yanking on my rope for the customer, for them to pull me out, because I'm not able to really move. Like I feel like I'm kind of stuck here. That if I let go, then I'm just going to end up coming in front of that pipe, and it's just going to, you know, it's kind of it's sketchy, man. I'm telling you. But anyhow, that's why underwater divers, well, I don't say they make the big bucks, but it takes a different kind of mindset of person to be in black water doing shit like this. But anyhow, I'm straddling this pipe, and I'm trying to inch this wand, this pressure washer wand, out of this pipe a little bit at a time, pulling it out a little bit at a time. Finally, I ended up getting it out, got it back over. I air my BCD, my dive vest. I just start dumping air into it to try to get me to float as fast as I could. So I hit it, I float up to the top, tell the customer, you know, pretty much, hey, do you see water on the other end, kind of deal. Let's get in. So that whole thing was successful. Now, that being said, as I start getting up to the bank, you know, walking up through all the mud up to the bank, the customer's like, hey, there's a 2-inch line that basically follows that 12-inch pipe down, and basically what it is it creates a suction, right? So it's not it keeps the water right at that 2-inch pipe level. So if it gets above that 2-inch pipe level, then it basically creates a suction and it starts pulling through that 12-inch until it drops down to where that 2-inch line is that runs across the top of that pipe, right? So he's like, hey, can you feel that pipe, blah, blah, blah. I feel it, I lift it, you know, I'm like, yeah, snap. It snaps off the top of the damn 12-inch pipe. So anyhow, now we're like, well, shit, what do we do now? So we're kind of standing there, blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of crazy because I had one of my dive lights on my hand, was sitting right there. And all of a sudden it got sucked off my hand. And I yanked my hand back like something, like I felt like something had grabbed my hand, you know, because it was kind of down in the water a little bit. I felt like something grabbed my hand. And this is on, I think the video got this. So I'm like, oh shit. Then we looked and we saw a whirlpool. So now at this point, it's fixing to suck the lake dry, well, not dry, but it sucked the lake all the way down to where that 12-inch line is. Now there's a different problem. So I told him, hey, I think that, I think y'all just let it drop all the way down to that 12-inch, build a new end on that 12-inch to where it just faces up. That way it don't just get packed in with mud. And you don't even need this on there. So anyhow, so now they're trying to figure the whole thing out. Now, I got everything packed up and trying to winch get my line winched back up, rolled back up on the winch. I hit the go button on it. It starts frying wires under my hood. Smoke just starts pouring everywhere. My winch line, my power line from my winch, my power lines from my alternator, all that shit's burning up. Like it just starts smoking everywhere. So we spent about an hour sitting there trying to figure out what was what's been put back in wrong, anyhow, we really couldn't figure it out. So had to just wrap my winch line around my KC lights or my halo lights up front on my bumper and just come on home. The customer gave me a fire extinguisher because we really thought the FJ was fixing to catch on fire. We thought it was a high probability that my vehicle was going to catch on fire on the way home. Luckily it didn't. I made it home. So live to tell about it another day. And yeah, so that's that. So all in all, it was a successful dive. It was something new for me. I'd never done something like that. It was very, it was pretty sketchy. I really thought I was fixing to get sucked into that pipe, because that water came in, once I cleared it, it came in something fierce. So anyhow, if y'all like this kind of stuff, obviously I'm gonna try to put a video. Sorry this went like 15 minutes long. If y'all like it, the video, you're not gonna be able to see anything just because it's so dark. The lights couldn't even cut through all the mud. But I'll try to put whatever I can on it. So follow along, like, thumbs up, share. Come dive with me.